By Braxton's decision to declare?
No, not at all. We've been in that process for probably 3 weeks now. So, when those decisions are made, it's not just a decision on that day. So we've been in that process and going through an evaluation process, and there are different committees that give you advice, and when these kids want to make a decision to declare without signing with an agent. So it's no surprise to me. We just want whatever's best for Braxton and his family, and if he now that he's in that process, the next step is going to be, how many workouts he can get with NBA teams, if he's going to get selected to go to the Chicago pre-draft camp, and then at some point later in May, he'll have to make the best decision for him in terms of whether he wants to stay in the draft or not.
Did you advise him to do that? Would you advise him to go out?
I advise kids to do whatever they think is in the best interest of their family. I think it'll be, let me finish. I think it'll be very hypocritical of me to tell a kid to not declare for the draft, or you're making a bad decision, especially somebody that's had a long history in the NBA. I think what I advise him to do is get all of the facts, and let's do all of the research, and let's get feedback on, if you're going to get drafted, and if you are, where are you going to get drafted. And so the main thing for me is just to be a resource and provide all of the information so that their families can make the best decision for themselves. And at the same time, if they ask me for my advice, then I'll give them my advice, and that advice is going to remain private between me and the families.
Is there any talk at all, if he doesn't get drafted, is there any talk at all potentially going out of the season with the professional?
No, that we haven't had that conversation. Okay. Basically, the conversations that I've had with Braxton is, if he gets out of the draft, the idea is he's going to be back here May 30th for summer school. That's the only conversations we've had.
What's some of the feedback you're talking about? Exploring this option that you've heard from NBA teams. I mean, you still have connections there.
Yeah.
What's some of the feedback?
Well, I just think they saw the same things that you guys saw. A kid that's 6'8", 230 pounds that still is developing like a lot of the kids that are in the draft. Most of the kids that are in the draft are younger kids. Rarely do you see quite a lot of seniors. So a kid that has a great body, great future, came on at the end of the year, first team all freshman, continue to work on all of his skills, can pass, dribble, and shoot, and still developing.
What did he mean to this team this year?
It meant a lot. He's a guy that played multiple positions, started for us at 4 sometime, 3, ended the year playing some 2. So he was a kid that we could move all around the floor. And, you pair him with a guy like Dejon Ingram and Riley Norris and AJ Jr. and Dante Hall, a lot of the kids that we have coming back in our redshirt Daniel Giddings, along with the kids that are coming in our freshman class. We think if we can keep it all together, we can have a team that can compete at a higher level next year.
What do you think about Colin Sexton at the All-Star games? Had some pretty good games.
Yeah, I thought he was great. He played with a lot of confidence and what this new age called swagger. But he played with a lot of confidence and swagger. He's a guy that can play on the ball, off the ball. Just don't box him in. He can do a lot of different things with the basketball, very competitive on the defensive end. I think we got to work on him. I read an article where he said he only took 2 charges. We may have to work on that part. But if he can get us, have some big games for us on the offensive end, because we struggle a lot offensively, I think that's going to take us to the next level, along with all the other guys. Let me be perfectly clear, this is not Colin Sexton coming in, trying to rescue Alabama basketball. We got 4 other freshmen we signed, and we have some other players that have played in, some hard-nosed SEC basketball that's returning on our team.
You have a lot of personality too, does he?
A lot of personality. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
that's a good thing to have a lot of personality. I think our fans are going to appreciate that.
You said late in the season, though, that was something that swagger you wanted to see from players on your team last year that maybe wasn't there. How much do you think that can add, that personality, that influence can be the difference?
Well, Alex, every kid on a part of our recruiting class and Daniel Giddings, they were strategically recruited for a reason. And again, this is our just completed our second year. When I looked at everything with Alabama basketball, you know, we were building this team to basically start in year 3. And all of those kids bring something different to the table, and a higher level of confidence is good. But at the same time, the guys that are coming back that are working out in the gym twice a week, we need them to continue to improve.
There's obviously a lot of hype with this class coming in. Is that something you play into, or do you sort of temper it and say, well, these guys are just fresh?
Well, a lot of hype coming into this year. Alabama basketball, and this is no knock on years past, but it's probably more hype than they've ever had. I think that's a good thing. But at the same time, we know it can't just be style over substance. We still got to be a fundamentally sound team. We got to be a mentally tough team. We don't want to take 40 steps backwards on the defensive end because there's a lot of hype about us on offense and the kids we're bringing in. I think the main thing is I'm glad that the expectations are a little bit higher. We don't, you know, my first 2 years, where have we been picked to come in the SEC? Probably 7th and 11th or something like that. We want to be picked in the top 4. We want to be picked finally as a team that could potentially make it to the NCAA tournament. That wasn't there in the first 2 years. So again, we've been building towards this, but at the same time, it's not like the administration are all in on year 3, and if something magical doesn't happen in year 3, it's a huge failure. We know we're still building.
How much? Two more questions, guys.
Yeah,
you talked about Daniel. How much of an impact can he make on this team, given his size and obviously?
Well, I think we want Daniel to be like another bowler that can give us a little bit more scoring. You know, Bowler's 6'6", Daniel's 6'10", and now he weighs 248 pounds. He's gained 20 pounds since he's been here. So we want him to add that muscle inside, maybe mix it up a little bit on the outside for us more. Play some 4, play some 5, play some 5, play some 4, and just bring that relentlessness to our team. Who was the last one? Somebody else didn't answer.
You sort of made a joke about the South Carolina wins, the 2 wins over Final Four teams. Are those wins that you can point to as big wins that you can build on heading into next year?
Well, first of all, it wasn't a joke. That's the first of all. We respect South Carolina, and if you noticed, SEC was a little bit of a joke before the season started, but we ended up getting quite a few teams, 3 teams in the Sweet 16, and South Carolina making it to the Final Four. So we respect South Carolina. We were really encouraged by their success, but all I was saying was we were successful against a team that made it to the Final Four, so that showed that when we play the right way, we're a pretty good team. Hopefully next year we won't wait until the SEC tournament to have that type of energy and focus. Hopefully we'll have a rotation early in the season, and that's all on the coach. That has nothing to do with the players. That's me. Our early season bumps, that has nothing to do with a player missing a free throw or a shot or whatever. That's on Coach Avery. And we just got to do a better job of getting to a rotation early in the season. Thanks, guys.